And before we jump into whatever we want to talk about today, I wanted to ask if people wanted to share something or if have any questions. You're on two videos, Stephanie. Is that intentional? Okay. All right. Um,
Well, you couldn't hear me on the computer, so I logged in on my phone.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Well,
All right.
I'm moving forward a little bit more in my Beachbody at Harmon at work sort of thing. So I actually had two ladies already. I had a meeting with them yesterday, and it was kind of perfect because I'm trying to set up just my once a week, like at work, where we can just do a cardio workout. But I haven't gotten the rooms together or the date together that works best in the calendar, in the fitness calendar that they have. But these two ladies already messaged because they already kind of put me out there as the on-site Beachbody coach. And these two ladies already had experience with Beachbody. One of them has like a older Shalene DVD that she's been doing. The other has been in the gym, has a trainer, has a young daughter, and she needs something that she can do at home in between getting to the gym because her husband travels a lot for work. He's actually going to be school to be a CRNA, so he's doing like some traveling stuff over this next year. And so she needs something at home. So these two ladies were like perfect for me right now because they already just want to get started with ordering bod and ordering like challenge packs. So that was a pretty awesome meeting. I definitely got one challenge pack out of it, maybe a second one. But these ladies are also just really motivated and really excited to like have a once a week meeting point at work and like to do all that stuff like right there with me while I'm doing my job. So it's pretty awesome.
That's so awesome. I feel like your business is just really going to take off because you have a lot of people local, and that's like huge. Like you can actually be in each other's lives, and you know.
Well, these ladies, I can set up just like, every Friday, I just set up a Friday meeting where we can just like meet in the lunchroom area and just like for a half hour, I can check in with them, in person.
Plus you'll have to invite them, to our group on Facebook, and they might pop in on our Zooms in the morning sometimes. And
yeah,
I mean, these are going to be your future coaches. That's what I feel. These are going to be like who you're going to be building your team with.
Yeah. So
that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's so cool. I'm so happy for you, and like happy for all of us because volume is volume. It all trickles up. That's great. You just gave me an idea, maybe because I'm going to be starting a new job. I'm starting a new CRNA job, and maybe I could talk to them about, seeing what kind of employee wellness program they have there. And if they have something like that, I could start. Because it's going to be all new people that I've never met before. It's a good idea to look into that. Does anyone else have a share or a question?
Well, I'm excited. I am starting to do something that's different, that's branching out, that may still funnel people in. I'm looking into beginning stages of like kind of creating my own form check app.
Cool.
So, I'm really excited. I love what we do here, but my true passion is like the teaching side of it, like fitness. So I'm gonna just check things out and kind of branch out in that way, and then kind of like I don't ever have interest in doing my own programming, which a lot of people have always reached out and asked me to do, and I'm like, no, why would I do my own programming? Like I freaking love following Beachbody. It's no brainer. So starting to take on that avenue and kind of just branch out and see how it filters in.
That's awesome. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. I'm sure it's going to be a way for you to feel obviously like to already support the people that you have, to bring new people in, and just like another tool and more credibility too for you, So.
Yeah, that is a great idea because it's already like in your wheelhouse of what you like love to do, and it's just a awesome like little supplemental thing that could go along with what you're doing.
And like I was talking to my mentor about it, about like, because I've talked with you guys here on the team page about, my general fit family, and like I don't provide form checks there anymore. And I've always kind of gone back and forth. And she was like, well, that's like a great opportunity to be like, hey, you guys are already here. Here's a huge discount, be part of like the beta test group and just get in at a cheaper price. But, different way to kind of do things.
I love it. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
We'll see what happens. Now I just need to act on it.
Yeah. Well, John's going to help you, right? With that That seems like that's in John's wheelhouse a bit, like the app part, or no?
Yeah, I have to like make all the videos, and I just have to make all the videos and do all that. That's really the long part of the process, and so yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm excited about that. And actually, something else I'm excited about. Like, I know we all have different ways to work our business and have like different things for it. And I use my connection builder. I actually talked about this in the Fit Families, how like we always all have access to like the tools that we need, and a lot of times we push them off to the side, and we're like, this is so hard. So in my connection builder, even though I've used it for like 3 years, I actually never paid attention to like just everything to the right on the main screen. And so I started using it, and it's been super helpful, where it's like, connect with 5 of your team members, click here to start, bam, all your team members show up. So I've been using it this week, and following what it's telling me to do. Connect with, like, I think I connect with 2 team members a day. I connect with 5 current clients a day, and I'm just picking at random. So like literally I just connected with a couple people from like March, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's been like forever since we've connected on here. I just wanted to kind of catch up, hear how your summer was going, where you're at currently, like whatever. And so I don't know, just feeling better about connections. I connected with Angie on our team and found out that she's no longer with her boyfriend, but she's in like the best place ever right now, and she's posting and being more intentional. And so that was like a really cool check-in that I'm using because of that system.
And that sounds like it sounds to me like you found a way to do what we were talking about last week with Scipio, but like in a smaller scale. That's going to be like doable for you, because you're not going to be able to reach.
Yeah, like I feel like Scipio still might be something that I want to look into, but I'm like, well, I already have this, so like let me use it fully.
Yeah.
And see how that goes, because I have this for free. So it's like, why wouldn't I be taking advantage of what I already have, instead of being like, I'm stuck. That's what people do. It's like we give them Beachbody on Demand with all the tools, and they're like, I struggle with nutrition. And it's like, have you looked at the meal plan that you have access to? So it's like, I'm like, why? I probably start with what I have access to and see how that goes.
Well, plus it's more manageable because you're starting with just smaller numbers. You're not like messaging all of your people at one time. You're messaging just like 2 to 5 a day, which is like manageable, because then you can like finish the conversations and like move on to the next conversation, versus feeling like super scattered with all those messages because you have so many people. So this sounds really good. That's awesome.
Yeah. I feel good. Yeah, you're right. It's like little clumps, and I feel good about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a good life reminder too, because I was just doing that to myself about clothes. I have a party to go to today. I'm like, for Becky's 40th birthday party. And I'm like, oh, I should go get a new outfit or something. I'm like, I have plenty of clothes in my closet. Really, I can go find something to wear. I don't need a new outfit. Like, this is crazy. So it's still the same reminder of like, appreciate the things that you have around you. You can probably figure out ways to use them,
Yeah, I mean, for your page and your challengers, like, we always think that we need something else. Oh, I need to do what they're doing. I need to follow that meal plan. And it's like, are you using what you have? And have you given it its fullest potential of opportunity for change?
I feel like that with like my my Instagram, because
you just came up with a great post.
With my Instagram, like the Instagram growth service, Instagram has made it impossible now for you to do like growth services, because they know that you're having somebody else log into your account, and they know that you're having someone else do the follows and unfollows. So unfortunately, I'm in the middle of like, Jumper doesn't want to give me my money back, even though it only really worked for like 2 months out of the 12 months. So I paid $1,000 for 12 months, and like, I really only got 2 months of it, and they don't want to refund me. And I'm like, but it's not working. Like, how could you not give me my money back? So I might have to dispute it with my credit card company. And it's just, so I was a little stressed out about that yesterday. And then I know that part of the stress was coming from like, how am I going to grow my account now? Like, how am I going to do this? Because I thought I was going to bank on that, And so I'm like, well, I have to start with the people that are already following me. Like, I have 1,270 followers. Like, have I really connected with those 1,200 people, like on a deep level where we have a relationship and they could potentially become my next like future people? No, I haven't. I'm worried about getting more, and I haven't even done what I can do with the people that I already have. So I was like, it's mindset. It's mindset. Like you just need to come back, like nurture those relationships of the people that are already following you, start liking their stuff, commenting on their stuff, and start engaging with them, because you probably have people in there that would want to do this, that want to be, but you're just not doing anything with it because you're worried about getting more people, you know, thinking about what you don't have versus what you do. So I've been having a little bit of a mindset, like working with myself over the last couple of days, because I just figured this out. Like I just figured out that, because they kept putting me off, like, oh, we're developing a new system, and then every time they try to log into my account, I get blocked. That's why I couldn't even comment. I couldn't post on my posts like content. I could only post a picture. So that's why you didn't see, like, for the 1950s thing where I asked for like opinion, Stephanie, you're like, what is this for? I couldn't post any words with it, like a caption, because that counts as a comment. And I wasn't allowed to comment on anything or like anybody's posts or follow anyone for 4 days. I was locked out of my account because Jumper tried to log in again, and Instagram knew that, and they put me in Instagram jail. And so I'm like, this is hurting my account. It's not helping my account. Like, how can you not give me my money back? I don't understand. I'm like shocked. I'm thinking that their business is probably going out of business because they can't do what they, and so maybe they, they probably had to I don't know, that Allie, the girl that I used to talk to, she's gone. All the numbers to Jumper have been disconnected. I'm like, how can you just keep my money? So basically I spent $1,000 for nothing. So it won't come to me getting a lawyer, because I won't do that, but I'm just going to take it up with my credit card company, and they're going to have to go to bat for me. Capital One's really good. So I have records of everything, of all the emails that I've sent saying it's not working. Like, I'm going to print everything and just send it all in, and hopefully they have some space to be able to dispute it with the bank and get the charge back. So I just was I had some stress with that this week, because I'm like, okay, but why is it really bothering you? Yes, it sucks to lose $1,000, but whatever. I've spent money on things that I don't use. I've wasted money on a million things. I bought this. I don't even use my connection builder. I bought it for whatever it was, $800 I spent. I don't do it. I didn't do shit with it. I've wasted so much money. I've bought things that I never use, and trainings and, stuff like that. So
we're using this is what I'm hearing. This you were using.
I was using
this. That's probably why it bothers you. Because
because it was, when it was working, for 2 months, basically it worked really well. And it was getting me 500 new followers a month, which was great, without me having to do anything. But, it's not working anymore. And so I have to just accept that that's not going to be something, and have that shift. So my focus is going to be on really going through. I wish there was a way for you to see, to have a spreadsheet of all your Instagram followers and see when was the last time you engaged with them and all the stuff, so I could really get on there. And since I couldn't do really anything on Instagram, I couldn't like anybody's things, I couldn't follow or unfollow, I couldn't comment, I went to Facebook, and I just started messaging the people that had comments on that 1950s post, with my before, which one do you choose? I messaged all those people with a personal message and just said, hey, thanks, Jonna got it, because you commented. So I messaged that to everyone. And I was like, well, what about this? And so it was just a conversation about what I was wearing. And then I'm hoping that those will lead into more conversations about actually a bunch of people on my page, my actual Facebook business page, 30 people commented. So I'm having I messaged all those 30 people, and those are brand new conversations. So I'm hoping that will roll into well, why'd you start following my page? And then maybe that will move into something more. So I'm trying to focus on the things that I do have and not the lack, focus on abundance and not lack. So I love that we had that conversation. Does anyone have anything else to share or questions?
Signed up my first person.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Are you logged on 2 devices now? Just maybe mute one of them.
close down your computer. Just shut it down. Turn off, get out of Zoom on there, because it's there you go.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's because you were coming in on your phone from your computer.
Okay, sorry about that. I was just saying I signed up my first person this week.
Yay! Congratulations. How did that happen for you?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing you. I don't know what the problem is today, but I don't know. But yeah, so I was excited.
And how did you do that?
It was actually a girl that that's where I go to get my hair done. And I've been I've been with her for like 20 years now. So she knows what I've been doing. And she actually used to belong to Beachbody. She was under another coach, but had stopped. So she's been not doing it for about 4 or 5 years. And she just was asking a lot of questions. And I hadn't really like initiated like invites at that point. Like as of last week, I was just putting stuff out there. And we were talking, and she said something about, you're not really, we're friends. So I was asking her opinion about things that I was doing. And she's like, well, I'm not sure that people really understand what it is that you're doing, because you're putting stuff out there, but you're not really, saying what it is that you're doing. So when I left, she's like, you should message me. So I got home that night and I messaged her and just said to her, I'm like, listen, I think it would be a great thing for you to get back into. You're looking to, get back into shape and be healthy. And, I'd love to be here to support you with that. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Let's do it. So yeah.
That's great. I mean, and but the point of, you're trying to do curiosity marketing, right? So, I mean, yeah, you can mention Beachbody on your page and talk about what you're doing. No problem. Like, I think that there's a balance that you can find with that, in my opinion. I don't think it's great to mention programs, products. I mean, Stephanie's building without barely ever mentioning, it's curiosity marketing. So it's getting people to talk to you, and then you tell them in a message behind the scenes what it is that you're doing. But you have to have a way of doing that where you're getting people to actually want to talk to you. And so congratulations. That's awesome. Cool. And thank you for sharing. I was going to actually talk a little bit today about branding, and, because it's one of the most important things that we can do for our business. So it's not just about like, oh, here's my workout, here's 21 Day Fix, here's this, here's that, whatever. It's what makes you, what's your brand? Obviously, like, Stephanie has a very specific, like, she's like an athletic, like she has like an athlete type, her body, and super into fitness, and she was a personal trainer. That's like a big part of her brand. But a lot of us, we don't have that. That wasn't our background. So I think it's just becoming really clear about who you are and your top 3 to 5 things that you're going to post about.
Well, can I talk real quick just on what her new challenger said?
Sure.
Because just the fact, so Allison, I think it's great that she provided that feedback. What I hear is not necessarily like, well, we don't know what you're doing. Like, you should talk about Beachbody. I don't think she was necessarily saying that, but like what I took from it, my interpretation is maybe people don't realize that you are wanting to help others get started. And maybe that message isn't coming through as much. And there's a lot of different ways to post about that, to have that conversation. Like, maybe you're sharing about, oh my gosh, today was so hard, but it's about how bad do you want it, blah, 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 whatever. Have you ever struggled with the motivation to just get up out of bed? I'd love to connect with you on that. Like, whatever, just asking a way to connect with somebody, talking about nutrition, like, quick meals. Do you think that you have to spend hours in the kitchen? Hi, I hate to cook. Like, my meals are crazy simple. I'd love to connect with you if this is something that you want to learn more about. And just putting out there, I want to connect with you. I want to connect with you. When you're putting out something that has to do with fitness, or even if it has nothing to do with it, like sometimes I just talk about like the sun. Like, at what point did you actually take your sun care seriously? Like, that's part of my brand. I want to connect with you. And then you can lead it into a conversation. But maybe some of your more fitness, nutrition driven posts need to have more of a call to action.
So can I ask you then, on those posts, are you like saying message me, or are you saying like comment below, Stephanie? Like, how are you getting them to connect with you? And are those on posts or stories or both?
I do it on like a lot of my posts. I mean, if I'm going to say something like, message me to connect, like I always say that versus like message me to whip out your credit card and join. But I'm constantly saying on stories, like message me to learn more, message me. And, I'm just putting it out there. Like, I want to talk to you guys, like message me. And I do have people reach out. So, I mean, do they always pan out into a sale? No, but they're reaching out. So at least I have conversations.
That's great. I like that. That's a really good tip. But I don't do that, so I don't think I say message me a lot. So you just
Yeah.
say message. You just say message me.
Yeah, I mean, just however it flows. But if this is something that you're struggling with, let's connect. I'd love to help. I I mean, yesterday I talked about like the fact that you use your Facebook to track your cycles. Like I honestly thought I might be pregnant. I'm like, I have my tubes tied. And so I was like looking back through Facebook because I know I always talk about it. So I added in like comment below, like what do you use to track your cycle? Whatever. It's still a connection. But if you want people to talk, you need to ask them to talk.
Okay, so a lot of it is asking for them to comment, and then do you reach out to them from there, or is it asking them to actually send you a message?
Both. I mean, since I work off of my like page, I just need them to comment so that I can privately
Message them. Okay.
So like as I'm adding new contacts, my contacts added are from, people commenting on just some of my random stuff. Like I posted the other day about a sun obsession, asking people like their scale of 1 to 10, how obsessed are you with the sun? Great. Anyone who I haven't personally connected with, those are now new connections. So I was like, hey, comment below on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? So yeah, I'm always asking people to do something on my post. Like that's why I'm asking questions, and you want to make sure they're not rhetorical questions, because people will see a rhetorical question and keep scrolling. So like sometimes I start with a question and I end with a question to be like, that same type of question, being like, hey, I want you to answer.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's a really good tip. Thank you. Does anyone else have something to share or say about that? What's up, baby? Okay. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about branding, and this is more like geared towards new coaches, but it's something that we have to do forever. It's like, what is your brand? How are you attracting people to your page? What are you standing out for? Like, you're a Beachbody coach and you're posting your workouts and you're posting your healthy nutrition or whatever, but it's like, there's like thousands of other coaches out there that are doing the exact same thing. So, I mean, branding for your particular page is like, number one, having like 3 to 5 things that make you you. And one of those can be like health and wellness and fitness and whatever, but the rest of them have to be something else. And then staying within posting about only those 3 to 5 things. Like, what is your message? What is what you want to get across? I noticed like Raina Odell popped up on my page the other day for some reason. And I was like, oh, let me check out her post. And I was like, oh, I like her post. It's all about like, even though I guess she has like ulcerative colitis or something, and she has like a colostomy bag, and she's like, she was losing a lot of weight and getting too thin. And then she finally got, it all worked out. And now she's like back to being like a healthy weight and like fit and stuff. And there's been times when she's been like heavier and lighter and whatever. So her brand is really, a lot of her posts are around like doing it anyway, like getting it done anyway. Like that's like her, if you read through her post, that's like the theme of her page. It's like, I'm sick, but I'm still doing it. I'm not using this as my excuse. I'm using this as my reason, and I'm taking care of what I can take care of. And, she was sick for a long time, and she's so grateful that she's not sick anymore. And, and her posts are super short. And then she's got like 83,000 followers. And then when she makes a post about like inviting people to her challenge group, she had like 170 comments on it of people that were, I don't know if it was people that were interested or if it was just people that, she was commenting back. Maybe half of that was people that were interested and half of them were her comments. I didn't actually look at them, but I was like, wow, damn, she's really got this brand down. I think I still struggle with this. I think I still have a hard time. Like, I mean, I know what my brand is like. I think I'm different. I think I have like kind of a different life, considering like I'm not married. I don't have kids. You know, I have a lot of animals. Like a lot of people wouldn't choose to have the life that I have. So I think, and also the non-traditional, I'm like non-traditional in a million ways, not just like with that, but like I was a nurse anesthetist. I made a 6-figure income. I did the 9 to 5. I wasn't happy. I decided to do this, to choose to like do this different thing where I can work part-time and I have this business part-time, and I'm kind of like, my brand now is really like the balance between the two, and it allowing me to be home more with like my animals and be at the beach and be in nature. And then of course, you know, healthy living and like mindset, personal development, like spirituality, like really taking care of like yourself holistically. Like that's pretty much my brand. But there are days where I feel like, oh, I didn't really, like I veer off of that, you know. And I think planning your posts and planning out your month is going to help you really get clear on your brand, because that's when you start to see like am I being consistent with the same messaging. And I think that that's really important, because there definitely are people that follow me that know, like they know everything about me. Like I'm like, wow, they must watch all of my stories, they must read all of my posts, because like I posted I'm dating someone now, and everyone's just like everyone that saw that, John has sent it too. They saw like the post of me and him in my stories are like, so are you guys dating? So I'm nosy. Like everyone wants to, these people are people that have been watching me, and they're like, know how picky I am. And they're like, oh my God, they're so nosy. They want to know. And I'm like, fine with it. I don't care. But I'm like, that dude, these people like really know what's going on in my life. Like, it's really fucking funny. But I don't have that many of them. I have some that are like really, and these are people that haven't even signed up with me. They're not like enrolled. They're not a client. They're not a coach. I mean, maybe they could be someday. I don't know. Or maybe they're just people that follow me. So I definitely do have some of those people, but I definitely think I could get better at my branding. So it's like picking those top 3 to 5 things that are make you you, and just remembering, again, I've said this a million times, people are going to follow you for a reason outside of fitness, health, and Beachbody, unless you're Stephanie, because that's not who you were before you started. You're either a mom or you're some type of like corporate, whatever it is that you were before, like your interests and your talents and the things that make you you before Beachbody, before health and fitness. Those are the things a lot of times people are going to connect with you on and follow you for. And then they're going to see your other posts, especially if you're adding value in those things. So another thing that I try to do on my stories, and I don't so much do it in my posts, but is like share other things that I buy, like cat things and like dog things, like things that I buy on Amazon, or like I share other products that I like, because I want them to see like, oh, like if I have people that are cat people that are following me, or dog people or bird people, and they see that I even posted like, I don't know, this collapsible foldable like laundry basket on my stories. I was like, hey guys, I hate the laundry basket taking up so much space. So this one's like foldable and it goes down. Like, and I'm like, I'll put a link to it, and I'm on my, you know, I have a link to my Amazon faves in my bio. And I'm like, links in my bio, check my Amazon faves, because here's why. If they see that I share this certain product, and if they're following me, they're probably going to have some commonalities and common interests. And then they see, oh yeah, this product's fucking awesome. I bought it and I like it. Then when I post about my fitness challenge with my supplements and things like that, when we have that conversation, they already have that trust built with me and that credibility, because they know that the recommendations that I've made for them before, where I wasn't getting any money for it, have worked for them. So now that I'm making them recommendations when it's actually my business, they're going to trust me more, and they're going to be more like likely to say yes, because they're like, oh, what she recommended with this was awesome. I trust her. So now that she's recommending this, I'm going to trust her. Now, am I saying that always on the first try when I talk with someone, they sign up? No, I genuinely have to have multiple conversations with people before they actually sign up. Like usually, even if they're reaching out to me, or even if they're answering my poll, it's still like a lot of times that's the first connect. That's the first conversation. I talk about goals. I get to know who they are. And then because I have Scipio, I stay in touch with them, either sending them tips or checking in on them here and there. And they continue to watch my stories, and they continue to like my posts and comment on my posts. So I go through and I do that success tracker. And so people that are watching my stories, I have the same people watching my stories every day, right? So I'll send them, you know, when I go through and do like respond to all new likes, comments, or views, it's very simple. I actually send them something that had to do with the story that they watched, and I ask them a question. And so I'm continuing that conversation, right? But I'm not asking them to open up their wallets. That is like then there's one girl that, the guy Ashton that I'm dating, I went on his page and I was like, oh, let me see who his followers are, because here's why. I wasn't stalking him to see like what his followers were. I was like, he's local, and any girls that probably follow him, he's into fitness. He's into OCR and Spartan races and like ninja and whatever. So I'm like, they're probably fitness people. So I'm like, they're going to be local women that are following him, that I could like make connections with. So I went through and I started looking at who was liking and commenting on his posts. And then I started following them, and then I started liking some of their stuff. And there's this one woman who I can tell she's not really like, I can tell that we're not really that similar, because like she's scared to go to dinner alone, or she's scared to travel alone. And I'm super independent. And she's like, I can tell she's like a codependent. And she's like, how do you do all these things by yourself? And you don't do it with a man. You don't have a man. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't need to have a man to do these things. I'll go to a concert by myself. I'll travel by myself. I'll do whatever by myself, because it's not like, so I already know that we don't have that commonality, but the commonality that we do have is that she is trying to be in shape. I have not invited her to anything of mine, like a challenge group or whatever. I've literally just like been having a conversation with her. I think that she's someone that I could ultimately invite to a challenge group, because I think what she's doing is not currently giving her the body that she wants. And I think she's 50. And so she's using the like, oh, I'm 50, reason for not having the body that she wants. But I'm sure it's just nutrition related, and she's probably not as consistent with her workouts as she could be. So we've talked a lot, like we've messaged a lot on Instagram, and it's just like, she'll watch my story and I'll be like, hey, how's your week going? And then because I go through and I message people and I just ask questions. And then eventually it led to her saying, thank you so much for checking on me. It seems like I kind of have somebody that like cares about me, that's like just checking on me and making sure that I'm doing all right. And I'm like, no problem. But I wasn't doing anything like spectacular. I was just like saying, hey, how's your week going? How you doing? And I still have not yet to message her and invite her to a challenge group. So those types of people, like that's how you want to like build your brand, is like to be known as the person that stands out. And in standing out really just means being more interested in them than they are interested in you. That's really like how you can stand out. Go ahead, Steph.
When talking about brand, I think that sometimes people think that brand has to be fitness related, but like part of your brand is independence. Like you are a very independent person, and that is part of your brand, like doing stuff around the house and, going out to eat and going to a movie and doing things like that. And so I'd be curious to hear, people that are here today, like, do you have a brand? What are things that you think are your brand? Like for me, some of my brand is I'm like a no cooking mom, like things that I'm known for. I don't cook. I have an obsession with yogurt. I'm an introvert. I'm a huge homebody. And I'm obsessed with the sun. Those are parts of my brand. And when I talk about those things, a ton of people will come to my page and they're like, oh my God, I'm like the same person. And it's like super exciting to like connect with those people. I have somebody I'm talking to right now that the things that she was sharing about her personality, it was like eerie. I was like, she's 27, military mom. And she was like, just sharing things that I was like, this is creepy, man. I was like, man, they really say like what you put out, you attract back. And I was like, wow, like she's like an introvert, like she's like distrusting of people, just a lot of stuff that I've been talking on the side to John about. But those are parts of your brand, and that's who you connect with. So I'm curious, do you all know what your brand is or struggle with that?
Well, I've struggled with trying to understand what that has meant for the past 7 months, to be honest with you. But honestly, what you said, I think, is a really good point. Like, because a brand, I feel like it's not like the things, it's like the umbrella of what is it? So I know like my brand has to be consistency. Like, I don't know, some part of consistency in the stuff that I do every day. I like what you said about, Marissa, like with independence. I think like, I feel like if you can come up with something that kind of is like one of the traits of what you have, like one of your strongest traits that kind of is like your brand, because that's like the thing that makes you the most you, and trying to see like what I've had a problem with is, okay, I know consistency is my brand. That's like my thing. That's what I do. I'm like repetition, like habits, all that stuff, like all the things I do. And I know that's what's made me successful in the things that I've tried to do, because I just keep trying. But I'm trying to figure out like, how do I get, because my stuff is like a lot of fitness related and it's the things that I do like habitual wise. But like I like a lot of other things. I actually don't know how to bring the other things I like into my page to where it's not just like, then it becomes more like random parts of me. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Because I'm like, I'm
Well,
stuck in my ways.
So I'm hearing consistency. You're saying like, this is me. I'm consistent in all aspects of my life. Okay, well then share some of that stuff. Like share where you're consistent in other areas. I mean, I take that as like, I'm relentless. Like, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. And I will so talk about those things, you know, whether it's through work, whether it's something you're working on with your kid, like that's your personality, and start pulling out others that have that similar personality by using examples like with your kids, with your husband, with things you do around the house, you know, a new product, like whatever, you know, like.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. Because lately I've been feeling like, you know, how do you get, I know my pictures and like my stories are easy because I'm doing the same shit I do every single day. That's how I live my life, do the same stuff over and over and over. And that works for me. But like how, you know, talking about it without just being like, oh, how do I talk about it? Because I do the same shit every day, you know? So I guess like examples, like thinking of things that, you know, you go through and like how my persistence or consistency like ends up paying off or whatever.
Well, here's like an example. Like we have like a new vacuum, and when I took it off, I was trying to figure out how to like dehair it. It was like brand new and had like whatever, you know? So maybe that could be an example. Like, you know, are you the person that's like, no, you will figure it out and take it to the end? Like I had this vacuum and I was like, oh, I'll get this. Like there's an app that comes with the vacuum. I got this. There's YouTube tutorial. Like, you know, like what's your personality? Are you like someone that would be like, and I'm out, I'll just buy a new vacuum, you know? Like that's an example. So just think about, you know,
or what about, I know that you recently like getting Ava to eat different kinds of food.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That could be.
It took me years of investing in pieces of spinach.
So now you can keep like every time she's trying something new and like that, because being a mom and, you know, Ava is part of your brand, like a girl mom, you know, so you can bring in, or anything that you're doing with her that's like that you're teaching, like whether it's like having her homework scheduled at a certain time or like, or what?
Yeah, we have schedules for everything.
So I mean, how did you get your daughter into like her consistency? Like how did you pass that trait down to her? You know, what were things that you did with her? Those would be great things to pull in.
So thank you. That helped me again bring it back down, because I started getting it to be too big and I needed to bring it back down to like really look at just, you know, getting back to the simple things of, you know, I'm doing this stuff on autopilot. I really need to like look at, you know, the things that I've done to get there. So they are like autopilot. You know, how did I develop these things? Because that I guess could help somebody else of how to develop.
Making your kid your brand. I totally forgot that. That's probably the biggest part of my brand is
Tiny T.
Oh, I love her.
If I need to bring in like engagement, Tiny T post goes up. Yeah. Tiny T and John are actually huge parts of my brand. I think people like think that their posts are hilarious, and hands down, Tiny T is probably half of my business.
Or, you know, and then you could tie in Tony, because I know like a big thing that you love about him is that he consistently like shows up for you guys as like the man of the house, you know, and like always like puts you guys first, like, you know, on the flights, like with the, you know, first class and all the things that he does. And also with Ava, because he's such a good stepdad, you know, how he always is there for her, even though her real dad is in the picture. And how he like even won you over in that way, because you were kind of like, I think at the beginning a little bit jaded because of your experience with your previous marriage. And then, but Tony, like he really showed you and made you feel like the princess and the queen that you wanted to be, like the way you wanted to be treated by a man, he showed up as that. And that's how he like won you over. And now you guys have this like totally different relationship than what was in your first marriage.
I have that's one of my sharing coaching roadblocks is sharing that stuff is weird. Like, I guess that's my own mental, that's the next thing to maybe get over is how do I really like let people in more personally? Because I guess that's what it all kind of starts to boil down to is like the more, if you go deeper to try and find the things that people can relate to, because I'm just like, yeah, okay, that's helping me kind of get to where it can give me more
Well, that's half of
That's
America.
uncomfortable. That's my next uncomfortable phase you guys are talking about right now.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, that's a huge connection potential for you, is like, roadblocks that maybe you had in the past that you could talk others through, or people that are going through it now, and like, fears that you had. And
Yeah.
That's another thing. You can tie that in. You can tie that into to coaching, and how when you started, like, you were an introvert, and even when you reached out to me, you were like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm too introverted, and that's why it took you so long to even say yes to coaching. And then think about all the things that you're doing now that you never would have been comfortable doing 7 months ago, and those can all be their own post. Like making live videos, sharing on your stories, talking about personal things on social media, like, talking to these women at work, it was no problem for you. In the past, you might have been a little less confident with them, and you wouldn't have had someone enroll right away.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Those are all awesome thought starters for me. I kind of was feeling a little stuck.
Of course. I feel stuck all the time. Like, I'm like, what is, I should probably try to think of the little things that I do that would be like, people don't see. I don't know. Like you said, we're on autopilot. So I still feel like my brand is not, I don't know, it could be much better. So
I feel like I'm struggling with this too. I think just being a new coach, and not really having kind of anything outside of, like, my kids are older, 2 are away in school, and like John, like I think, like, what do I do? Okay, well, I work out every day, I eat healthy every day, but I don't know that I feel like sometimes, like, I'm not that interesting. Like, and so that's where I'm kind of struggling, like posting things outside of my workouts or food that I'm eating. I don't really kind of know where to go with that. I mean, I think, like, I'm 52. And so that's kind of like one thing, like, people always say to me, how do you, do it when, I'm, 52 and I'm able to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and get it done. And just because it is what it is, like, that's what you do. You just have to do it. But outside of that, I feel like I'm struggling a little bit, like letting people know who I am.
Well, I'm curious, Allison, what did you connect with me on? Because we're obviously at different parts in our life, and there must have been something that I shared about that you connected with. So
yeah, well, there was. I mean, I said to you when I think I did, like, I followed. It took me, like, I'm very routine and very rigid sometimes, and so I followed lots of coaches, but there was just something. It was your message. Like, there was no bullshit. You call people out, and that attracted me. Plus, you were very, you taught me a lot about just form and isolation, but there was it was that message of just no excuses, right? If you have a goal, you do what you have to do and you get to it. And that was one of the biggest things and that's like, like when I watch other people, and I just feel like that was something that drew me to you.
Okay, so that's a brand. Is my approach is part of a brand. So with you just said, I'm routine, I'm this, I'm that. Okay, well, your routine, that could be part of your brand, and that's helping people. Like, I've talked about it before that, how do you work out every day? How do you brush your teeth every day?
Right.
I mean, so it's routine, but maybe that's your brand. But there's other people living your life. So if you think you're boring, then you're calling everybody else boring. I mean,
yeah, you've said that to me before. So yeah, I don't think I'm boring. I just, like, feel like, I feel like I need to put other things out there besides me just working out every morning and eating healthy. Like, I mean, yeah, I have a cat. Okay. I have, 3 kids, but they're never around. And
okay, here's the thing that you can connect with a lot on people, because I talk to people about this, is divorce and finding themselves. Go back to when you first got divorced, and not that you have to share details, but look at you now, man, you're killing the game. Like, so many women, it's like finding themselves after that. Like, and maybe that's something that you can help people with.
yeah. No, that's true. Because that was a big, I went through a divorce, then I was in this 8-year relationship that wasn't a healthy relationship. And I'd never, like, where I am at 52 versus 5 years ago, just in my self-confidence, and not really caring so much what people think.
I think that's definitely a part of my brand is like showing women that you don't have to have like, you don't have to be with someone to be happy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. I never want people to think like I'm saying that you have to be alone to be happy. I want people to know that like you can do things by yourself and you don't have to be like married and have kids and like have this whole family dynamic. Actually, like when I started dating Ashton, I'm like, how can I now, like, cause my brand has been like, I'm so independent and I'm by myself. I'm like, how can I like tie this in and like continue, like bring continuity with my brand now that I'm like dating someone?
Well, I mean, I'm dating someone. We've been dating for 5 years and we only see each other on the weekend. Like, and we both like that. Like, I have no desire to get married again. I don't want to move in together. Like, so you can be dating and still have that level of independence.
These are all conversations for Facebook, all conversations. Like, you know, life after a divorce, you know, what did you see for it? You know, did you see yourself getting married again? Did you see yourself being in a relationship but never married? I mean, holy crap, girl, you have so much that you can be tapping into that, you know, hopefully this is helping you to think like outside. Fitness box.
Yeah.
Like, what we're doing is selling you and people liking you and seeing themselves in you. And just like, you know, Marissa, you were sharing, like, you want to inspire people to be like more independent. Like that's a question, you know, whether you're married or you're single, are you comfortable going to a restaurant by yourself? Anyone can answer that question.
Yeah.
You know, who's married, I didn't. I mean, I wasn't ever put in that place. I never really thought about it, but I'm asking you to think about it. Would you, like right now, wherever you're at in your life, would you go? I haven't. I've never been to a restaurant just by myself and sat. I haven't. And I don't know that I would. That's uncomfortable to me, but that's a conversation that I would be like, I would answer.
I guess then sometimes I'm like, but wait, but what if we don't have that in common? Cause like you and Jonna would never do the things that I do. And I'm like, but I attracted you guys to be my coaches. So like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
people don't necessarily want people who are just like them. Like that's one of the reasons that some people who don't like, who just meet my best friend, Jenny, like are like, how are you guys best friends? Because we see him on the outside very, very different. Like she's a nutcase. And I tell her she's a nutcase and she knows it. And I am so not that. But we also do have things in common, obviously, that have kept us together over the years. But we are not alike. She will do stuff that I'm like, I wish I didn't care and I could just do that stuff, but I can't. So I'm around her because she gives me that little bit of stuff that I can't do. So people want, like, you just need a few things in common. But a lot of times I feel like people get connected to other people because of their differences, not like philosophical differences, but just little personality differences that are interesting because you don't feel like you have that in yourself.
Like
right.
I totally agree with that.
John and I are completely opposites. If we were the same person, we'd be divorced.
That's true. That's true too. Okay. Let's do a boomerang. Let's do a boomerang really quick and then you can talk. Okay, ready?
Wait, I want to take my shirt off because I have the same shirt on every weekend.
All right.
Consistency. All right, ready?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. I didn't move my phone. I did really good. All right, go ahead, Diana. Thanks, lady.
So since starting Beachbody coaching, I've definitely grown because like everyone that's in this community like has been like the building blocks for me. So like I'm very shy and like to myself, don't share anything kind of scenario. And just learning from everyone, like Jonna, like you said that you don't like sharing certain things. I'm the same way. Like you feel weird doing it. So I've kind of like tried pushing myself out of my comfort zone with random things, like you name it. Like I've tried different things, but it's just surrounding myself with you guys. I've been able to grow and like I'm starting to build myself as a different person for the better. So like instead of being so shy, I'm now going to events. Now I'm going to be doing like fundraiser events for Beachbody and trying to think of like different scenarios to go like out in the community and learn more and before I would have never done that. But like for my brand, kind of build off of that question earlier, Steph, that you asked, like I am a mom. I work from home full time and she's with me. So like that's part of my brand. And then also like gluten-free and dairy-free, like I can't have those. So like I've been trying to share that more with everyone and like giving recipes to people who may have a gluten intolerance or a dairy intolerance, just trying to like make that part as my brand. And also just sharing like my daily activities, just being a mom, waking up early and getting my workout in so I don't have any interruptions. Like I've been trying to share that more with everyone. But I totally agree with everyone. I've been struggling with some like more aspects of my brand, but I'm trying to put it out there more and not be so restricted in what I share.
Thank you for sharing that. And the only thing I was going to say, since it's 11 o'clock, this will be the last thing, is that don't feel bad for what you were doing, or don't judge the fact that you've only been posting about fitness or whatever. Like, don't make that wrong, because a lot of people, that's where they start. They become a coach and they start posting about fitness and health and nutrition. And then eventually you find your groove and you know what to post about more. Like, and then your groove changes, like your brand changes as you change. So don't judge like what you've already done and make it wrong. Like, you did everything great until this point, and now you're just expanding on what you've already done. So like when new coaches start, it's fine to just be consistent with posting your workouts and your shakes. And that's how everyone starts. And then eventually you find your niche and you find your brand or your niche or whatever, however you say it, and you keep consistently posting about that. So now you're just building on things that you already have in place. So just don't make what you did wrong. Don't judge it and don't feel bad about it. Just keep continuing to add on and get better, because that's all we can do. So, all right. Thanks everyone for all your shares. Appreciate it. I'll post the recording in the team page and I'll see you guys again next week. Oh shit. I forgot to say one last thing. For those of you that are in the challenge group with us and want to stay on track, I'm going to finish up the MM100 in 4 weeks from now. So I'm counting next week as one. So for those of you in the challenge group that want to continue and then do the work with me and I'm going to start inviting to that. I'm kind of like trickling in little posts about that on the page already. So next week will be the 23rd. So I'm going to do 23rd, 30th. I'm flipping through my calendar because I want to tell you guys this real quick. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll be done by the 13th is my plan. So I'm thinking to start the work on the 14th of October. If you guys want to like up to the doubles schedule, and I'm gonna even maybe triple on some days and just put the freestyle frill and the revive with other days so that I can finish in those 4 weeks. Because you're gonna need to do that. And if you don't take rest days, then you'll be able to finish faster too, because that accounts for 1 rest day. So I'm going to make that work for me, however that works out, so that we can kick off that, or we could even do it on the 21st if you guys want to, so that we have a week in between just to make sure that we can get all the new people set up so we don't have overlapping posts. But I think it actually launches on the 30th of September. You can order it and have it in the member library. And just so you know, anyone that purchases a challenge pack this month, they get the work program for $10 next month. And if you use promo codes from August, then you got promo codes for September, which I did. I got 2. So I am trying to promote that, like those promo codes, and then getting that discount so that they're ready for next month. But I'd get them started this month and just have them do like a 3-week program. I don't know if you watched the National Wake Up Call with Tanya Barron, but she said, like, don't wait for them to enroll on the 30th. Get them enrolled now, and then they can start the program with us. If they enroll now, they could do like a 3-week, 4-week program, and they would be perfect timing for them to start in October with us. So which date do you think is better, the 14th or the 21st? I don't want to rush it.
I know. Once I get it, I'm going to hate to wait, but I also, I'm going to finish out the program. I'm going to do the doubles too. And I don't want to, I would assume probably the 21st, just so we also can start, we can still see out the morning meltdown. And then we can also start talking about the work without like jamming it down everybody's throats.
That's what I'm trying to find that balance. And even on the call, she's like, don't stop what you're already doing and don't like stop with those people. And so I'm not going to do a separate challenge group for the work. I'm just going to have it all. But here's what I want to do. I want to start seeing who's interested in the people that we already have, like our clients that are already in the group, all of us, who's interested in doing the work with us, so that we're going to have a list of people that are going to want to invest in the VIP early access. And then continuing also to recruit new people that, sorry
to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Because the stuff that you started posting in our Facebook group really did help everybody join Morning Meltdown.
Right.
I do think we need a little bit of time to advertise for the work within our group and, externally to get everybody thinking that they want to do that.
So right now so at this point we'd have like 4 weeks. We'd have like 4 weeks, 5 weeks now to start like promoting it, talking about it. I can also do the same thing with my assistant and have her create that event page where she posts like pictures and videos. And it seems like Beachbody's not even promoting it as much. They didn't do a coach test group. So they don't have like coach test. I don't know why did they rush this? I don't get it. So all we can do is what we can do, right? So I think Beachbody like rushed this. Like I don't think they're promoting this new trainer enough. I don't think they're putting as much information Carl's posting about it, but I just feel like it's not as like MM100 was like jammed in our face for like months. This seems like it's like because everyone's still on the MM100 kick. So I don't want that to discourage our launch. So like I feel that it'll be best if we can start posting little tidbits in the MM100 in our group. All of us, like if you see something about the work that you like, post it in there, because we want to start getting people that are already lovers of the products interested in doing this next program with us and investing in the VIP early access, and getting new people on social media knowing we're still doing this program, but we're going to be starting this one soon, and so we can start promoting that for the next group.
Yeah, and we could kind of look at it like, with that buying a completion pack or a challenge pack, you get the $10, you get the work for $10. It might be a good opportunity to be like, if you aren't using Shakeology, or if you've wanted to try the the performance stack, because everybody can throw a performance stack in. Can't you get a completion performance stack and then you get the $10?
I think you'd have to buy a Shakeology and
performance stack not enough.
No, you'd have to buy. There isn't like if there's a completion pack with just Shakeology and the performance stack, I think that would work. I think you had to spend a certain amount of money on the completion pack.
Is the stack not 130? I gotta look, because I was thinking the performance stack would be a great thing to buy, and then you get the completion pack, and then you get the work for $10.
Well, then they'd have to do the MM100 completion pack, is what you're saying, right? Because you can't just do the performance stack. The performance stack isn't a challenge pack.
No, right. But but the more
are you saying?
I'm just trying to figure out how can you say, like, if you get a completion pack, I don't know which one is a good one, but if you get a completion pack, then you get the work for free, basically, because you're getting the work for $10. Because a lot of people spent $50 on Morning Meltdown for the early release, but they didn't get anything other than the workout. Where here, if you're going to spend the extra money, you can get products and the new program. Is there a way?
Yes.
I was trying to figure out, is there a good completion pack to like promote, so you could get the performance stack, for example, and then you there is a Beachbody
performance completion pack for $130.
Okay, so that qualifies for the $10 promo.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I was thinking, like somehow saying what a great deal that was, because if you wanted to try the products, you can get the free access, $10 access for the work.
Right.
And the other people who signed up for Morning Meltdown, they either did the same thing or they just paid $50 to even have the Morning Meltdown in the first place.
Or they could even do the Morning Meltdown completion pack with, if they already have Beachbody On Demand, they can do the completion pack of Morning Meltdown, and they can get all the accessories with that program for $130 with the Beachbody Performance.
Yeah, the accessories. So you get the book and everything with it, right?
So for $130, that's what they should do. They should do the Morning Meltdown completion pack, because you get
all the stuff.
You get all the stuff, and you get the performance stack for $130.
Yeah.
or the Shakeology. So basically it's for people that, all right, Morning Meltdown is going to be launched in your member library, but they're not going to have any of the accessories unless they buy them, right? And if they've been wanting, so that's a good, so they could either do the completion pack with performance or Shakeology, and then that would qualify for them for getting the $10 next program.
Yeah, so you get the pre ahead for the next workout for basically free, and then you get, you know, all the physical stuff that comes with Morning Meltdown that you can use.
That's what I think we should promote.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's what I kind of wanted to have an idea of, like, what was a good thing to be like to offer.
So then what we should do is, if we're going to do that, then we should talk about it, not just me, but all of us. And we should also talk about how much we like the performance line or Shakeology, because they need to see, like, the people that aren't using it, you know, need to see why it's going to be good for them and why they'll love it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to figure out how I can buy a completion pack. Maybe I can do it on my mom's account, but buy a completion pack so I can get the work $10 discount code.
I know. I was thinking about that too. I'm like, how can I do this? Because I already have Morning Meltdown. What completion pack can I buy?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think we're going to have completion packs with it, like we did with Morning Meltdown as coaches.
Yeah.
So I think that we'll still get it for like the same price, because you could buy, remember I bought the completion pack for Morning Meltdown and I got like everything. I basically did get the program for free because I got Shakeology and the performance stack, and the program was cheap anyway. So
All right.
all right.
Start figuring out and then just start going.
Yeah. And we need to start just posting about it, like more than just like our regular workouts, but start getting people excited about it.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
All right, cool. All right. Thanks, ladies. So the 21st sounds good.
All right.
All right. See you guys.